good evening, good day, everyone. Paul-Esupofo, they welcome to a very, very special, the 90 days screenplay, the 90 days screenplay classes, day 2. Today is day 2, and we're going to 90 days, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be powerful by the grace of God. So I want you to sit right and make sure you get yourself comfortable. Make sure you get comfortable and you are taking your time to make sure you do what is expected of you. And it's going to be wonderful if you can get yourself set. Okay. Now, tonight is going to be very, very awesome. And yesterday I promised you something, and what I promised us, I have promised you something, and please go ahead and tell other people to join. Go ahead and tell other people to join us live right now, and it's going to be wonderful. Okay, it's going to be what? Wonderful. So if you are here and you have not subscribed, please kindly press the subscribe button right now. Press the subscribe button right now and join us right now. Yesterday, I promised us to read something at the back of the book, and I told you how what is the author, is the copyright owner of the work. And I also said, I'm going to be sharing from my experiences, what I know, what I can do, and what God has helped me to do part time. So in case you are here, please, and you are new, kindly go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and let's have it there. So join us right now. Join us if you can, and it's going to be powerful. Every night we're going to be doing some things meaningful, and every day. Some will be 9 in the morning due to the environment. We have to make sure not the environment, to make sure that we get it good for us, and we can also analyze the serene and a very good package for us, so that we also can say, oh, these are the things that we are getting by the grace of God. All right, let me go straight to the back of the book. Yesterday we mentioned the back of the book. We told ourselves that, okay, we are going to read the back of the book. If you remember yesterday, when I wanted to read the back of the book, we told us that spend the remainder of your writing time working on the stream of conscious writing books at the back of the book. They are in no particular order, and feel free to repeat a exercise that intrigued you. The goal is to continue developing a more specific relationship with your character. So I will go to day 2, and I will go to those instructions yesterday that will help you. The homework for the week is part of the homework for the week, and you have to just look at it critically and get it. So let's go to day 2. 80% of success is showing up. Woody Allen. 80% of success is showing up. Woody Allen. And what does that mean? That whenever you have a vision and whenever God has given you something to do, you must always show up to that vision. So showing up is the title of the day 2. Hi, screenwriters. If you are thinking that's going to be a lot of work, you're right. Did you notice as you began imagining a word of your story that you started to glimpse how much there was to know? Creating a fictive world with flesh and blood characters facing a variety of obstacles takes time. Yes, writing a screenplay is not simply about finding or filing 100-odd page with words. The craft of screenwriting is about economy. Write it down, type it in the comment. Economy, the ability to convey an entire word in as few pages as possible. Maybe you have seen evangelist Shola Mike mention economy when it's a cube. Okay, when you talk about cube in writing, continuity, unpredictability, believability, and economy. I mean, if it's economy, so economy is making sure that you're getting everything in a very, very sharp way. Let me continue. As you continue to imagine the word, you may even start to wonder how you are going to fit all of this information into the script. The challenge of good script writing is in finding creative way to layer material to say a number of things at once. As you imagine the word of the story, let's notice that each of our characters perform a different function, while all wanting the same thing. A novel can be about many things, but a screenplay typically explores a single core idea. I repeat that, please. A novel can be about many things, but a screenplay typically explores a single core idea. We have 2 hours to convey an entire word. A good scriptwriter is always searching for ways to distill his ideas to their nature by continually and mercilessly asking himself, what is this thing about? What is this thing about? This work is a major shift for some of us. We are dropping our differences and just writing. We're just writing those images, ideas, and fragments of dialogues that emerge. Okay, so that if we find ourselves running out of STEM, it is to be conscious. Let's be curious about our worldly antagonists, those characters that stand in the way of our protagonist getting what he wants. Every time he moves forward, achieving his goal, our antagonists are there, standing in the way. Okay, standing in the way. Are we getting something? Are you writing something down? Think of how children tell stories. They are fearless, lost in the bliss of their imaginations. There is a spirit of joy and wonder as they spin their yarns. There are no wrong answers. Children have complete confidence in their narrative. Children are not concerned with whether their story works. They simply find a way to support whatever their imagination serves up. As we amuse ourselves, we move in the direction of our most compelling stories. Exercise for today. Writing exercise for today. Number 1, distill the idea for your screenplay down to a single word. Distill the idea of your screenplay down to a single word. Is it about love, forgiveness, revenge, freedom, truth, justice, honor, respect, validation, vindication? Here is a clue. What does your protagonist want? When you're writing now, you begin to put all these things in place. Number 2, as your protagonist, write for 5 minutes. Beginning with A, what makes me angry is blah, 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 blah. B, what breaks my heart is blah, 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 blah. C, I believe my role in life is blah, 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 blah. Number 3, now do this last 3 writing exercise as an antagonist in your story. Okay? As an antagonist in your story. Until tomorrow, I want to read something for you very quickly at the back, because one of the instructions for this week shows that you have to read all these things. That homework for the week, spend roughly an hour each day working. Spend roughly a half hour each day working on the daily writing exercise. Spend at least a half hour a day imagine the word of your story. This simply means asking questions of your story. Each answer begets more questions. For example, what does my antagonist do for a living? Perhaps you decide he's a doctor. What kind of medicine does she practice? Where does she practice? Who does she work with? The process involves continually making choices and holding them loosely until it's decided that your protagonist is a doctor. You cannot imagine the world of her work and the people that surround her. And it's only through decided occupation that you might realize your story is better suited in having her to be a pro golfer. Make choices, hold them loosely. Lastly, which I'm going to go straight to go and read for you tonight, and probably after tonight, I will be referring to this day 2 for people to go and watch. Spend the remainder of your writing time working on the stream of conscious writing exercise at the back of the book. So there are in no particular order, and feel free to repeat exercise that intrigue you. The goal is to continue developing a more specific relationship to your character. And I want to say something, get this book, go online, buy this book. And in fact, I was privileged to have opportunity to read this also from the Kindle. And and I have the Zero. I don't have opportunity again. If I have to read, I have to read tonight and make sure everything is there. Get the book. It's not too expensive. And I want to drop the link for us to get the book I will drop the link for us to buy the book. It's very important to buy the book to encourage the author. And also because I'm doing this free for you, and you must also make sure you share with other people and all that. Before now, I'll talk about screenplay, but I find this book very, very resourceful, and I felt I need to share with the body of Christ also to make sure that I am not the author, but I will be sharing part of my experiences as some words are coming in, okay? So as we go on, we get it. Like I told you, it may just be 5 minutes, it may just be 10 minutes, just be 20 minutes. It depends. Day one, day two, whatever it takes us, we just go like that. So it's not going to be a long thing that some people will think, and you can watch as many times as possible. Let me go to the stream of conscious writing. I will take my time to read it, okay? It's such a long thing, but I will take my time. That's why I will refer to this video for other classes, whenever we go to come back to watch it. Now, stream of consciousness writing exercises. If you're a screenwriter, you're writing for the screen, please pay attention to this. Story is primer. That's Alan Watt says. Story is primer. The stakes are life and death. The stakes are lives and death for our characters. These writing exercises are meant to spark your imagination and get your character speaking to you. As you write in stream of consciousness for 5 minutes on any of these questions, a sense of word of your story will begin to emerge from the perspective of your protagonist or an antagonist. Okay, write for 5 minutes. Write for 5 minutes, beginning from the following lines. Okay, 1. I'll just continue. I mean, maybe 1, 2, 3. I may say that. I may not say that. 1. One thing you still need to know about me is ... 3 dots. Every other thing 3 dots. Anything I'm saying 3 dots. Just fill in the gap. Number 2. The lie I continually tell myself is. Number 3. What makes me angry is blah, 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 blah. What breaks my heart is number 4. Number 5. The secret I won't tell anyone is. The secret I won't tell myself is number 7. My perfect day will be blah, 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 blah. 8. Just let's continue like that. 8. This is how I will spend my day and my last day on earth. ... The biggest shock of my life was when ... Number 10, I feel trapped when ... 11, my first love was. 12, my biggest regret is. 13, the greatest accomplishment has been. My childhood dream was. When I look in the mirror, I see. That's number 15. 16, if you knew me before, you would have said ... Tomorrow I'm going to ... On my tombstone, it will read ... On my tombstone, I would like it to read ... What I have come to understand. What I have come to understand is 21. I fear that when people look at me, they see ... The person I hate the most is ... You will never know this by looking at me, but blah, blah, blah. 24. My secret love is ... I can't wait for ... My attitude towards sex is ... Okay. My philosophy on life is ... 28. I believe my role in life is... fill in the gap. My favorite things to do is... fill in the gap. The thought has kept me up at night is... the thought that keeps me up at night is... fill in the gap. One day I'm going to... fill in the gap. I feel free when... fill in the gap. The best thing I never purchased was... fill in the gap. My favorite memory is... fill in the gap. My worst memory is... fill in the gap. When I want to comfort myself, I remember... fill in the gap. 37. The closest I ever came to mother was when... The place I go when I don't want anyone to find me is... If you were to ask the closest person in my life who I am, they will say, ... 40 now. I will be crushed if anyone knew if anyone knew this about me. ... The one thing I care most about is, I used to believe that the truth I'm resisting about myself is, every time I think I'm going to get what I want, it seems that when I wake up, my first thought is, my last thought before I fall asleep is, I have a habit of, the answer to my problem that I have been avoiding is, that's 48, okay? That's 48. Okay, let's now go. 49, we go. My worst defeat was when I was finally rest when my bravest thing I've ever done is, the most cowardly things I've ever done is, my relationship to God is, my defining moment of my life was when, my greatest love of my life is, the greatest love of my life is, the last time I remember laughing at was when, the one thing I could never survive is, the greatest drill of my life was when, my most painful memory is 60 now. I need to be forgiven for, if I could do one thing differently from my past, I will be, okay, it will be, the message I got from my father was, the message I got from my mother was, okay, that's 60, 63, 64 now. The reason I'm in this situation is because if I were to tell the truth, the consequence would be, I believe that, as in bracket, as your hero at the beginning. Sorry, something I expect, fill in the gap. Okay, I think it's just turned upside down. 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please. So when you are filling the gap, you yourself will know how to write. These are not in any sequential order of whatever we are saying, so that you can get the results. Okay, getting the result will help you a lot. Okay, 1 minute, please. All right. All right, thank you. So fill in the gap, we are on the 70. We're now going to 70. 68 says, to me, freedom looks like. 69, something I expect from others is, fill in the gap. Something, now 70, something I expect from myself is, I am terrified of, I will never declare defeat when it comes to fill in the gap. The bravest person I know is, the most cowardly person I know is, the smartest thing I ever did was, my attitude towards money is, my attitude towards work is, my attitude towards alcohol is, my attitude towards marriage is, my attitude towards love is, my attitude towards the opposite sex is, my attitude towards children is, my attitude towards organized religion is, I will die before I, that's 84, 85 now. If I had to fear, I would immediately, dash, dash, dash. I will never forget the time that I dash, dash, dash. I will never live in a world where dash, dash, dash. The most dangerous thing I've ever done is dash, dash, dash. The biggest risk I've ever taken is dash, dash, dash. The most comfortable things I've ever revealed is dot, dot, dot. I secretly despise filling the gap. I'm almost ashamed of. I'm most disappointed by. I couldn't live without. I resent. I'm I am most envious of dot, dot, dot. I feel safest when dot, dot, dot. I'm tired of pretending that I like dot, dot, dot. I wouldn't be upset if dot, dot, dot. I shouldn't feel this way, but dot, dot, dot. That's 100 and something. Let's go. We are still going because it's like I told you, it's one question you must also ask yourself. The most valuable thing I've ever stole was dot, 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 dot. The worst crime I ever committed was dot, dot, dot. The most rebellious act was when I dot, dot, dot. Something I did once but will never do again is dot, dot, dot. Something I want to say but don't feel I'm allowed to is dot, dot, dot. I have trouble reasoning with dot, dot, dot. I feel lost when I have unrealistic expectation of. I'm far too understanding of. I refuse to believe that before I die, I'm determined to. I am upheld by. It's been too far too long since I feel intense loyalty towards. I know this isn't logical, but I feel misunderstood about a debt that I can never repay. Is the nicest thing anyone ever said to me was the meanest things anyone ever said to me was. My earliest memory is the last time I cried was when dot, dot, dot. I don't actually remember this, but I am told that dot, 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 dot. I would describe myself as the person who understands me best is the most intimate moment of my life was when dot, dot, dot. I'm always shocked to hear that dot, dot, dot. The last time I drank too much, I dot, dot, dot. The family member I'm closest to is that. Something that I wouldn't trade for the word is dot, dot, dot. A time that I was too trusting was dot, dot, dot. A time that I was too suspicious or cynical was dot, dot, dot. I have difficulty pretending that dot, dot, dot. Something I tend to avoid is my worst habit is what annoys me most about people is what people find most annoying about me is I felt the deepest sense of belonging when dot, 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 dot. Okay, let's go. It's a long list and I have to finish it. Okay, please make sure you get it so that it can help your thinking as you're writing something. You also get the opinion. You can pause the video to get the one I have said. Number 139. The most alienating moment of my life was when the last time I betrayed someone was when the last time I saved someone was when the last time I betrayed myself was when my family wishes that I would. Something I regret losing is something that I regret finding is something I'm grateful to have lost is something I'm grateful to have found is I'm envious of. I feel pity for. Something I wish I could forget is when I die or hope that dot, dot, dot. The most interesting people I've ever known is dot, dot, dot. The most attractive person I've ever known is I wish I were more. I can't forgive myself for dot, dot, dot. I'm too hard on myself because I will be redeemed when dot, dot, dot. I would have won when dot, dot, dot. I don't consider myself a selfish person, but dot, dot, dot. I don't consider myself an overly generous person, but dot, dot, dot. I need to apologize for dot, dot, dot. What bores me is filling the gap. What excites me is fill in the gap. What lifts my spirits is fill in the gap. The last trip I took was fill in the gap. What disturbs me is fill in the gap. I no longer agree that fill in the gap. My purpose in life is to fill in the gap. Love means fill in the gap. The biggest misconception people have of me is fill in the gap. Everything that will make sense when fill in the gap. I prefer when things are fill in the gap. I cannot tolerate fill in the gap. I insist upon fill in the gap. The most embarrassing thing I've ever said was fill in the gap. Now we're going towards the end, okay? We're going towards the end of that, and I will give you some things after that. The most embarrassing thing I ever did was, the most brilliant thing I ever did was, now you see, embarrassing thing, brilliant things, the most brilliant thing I ever said. That's the number 177. The most brilliant thing I ever said was fill in the gap. That 178. The most brilliant thing I ever did was 179. I live for fill in the gap. My life would be over if my greatest hope is, my best quality is, let me tell you how I feel about my physical appearance. ... I believe that love can ... I don't believe that love can. The most desperate act of my life was when the most cunning things I ever did was, the most noble act was the time that the greatest defeat was when the most fortunate things that has ever happened to me was, the most vivid memory of my childhood is, the most hurtful criticism I ever received was, the most despairing moment of my life was when I believe that when I die, I will, 10 things I want to do before I die are, the most heroic things I've ever done is, heaven is, hell is. The worst betrayal of my life was when I will feel vindicated when I can hardly wait for, I shouldn't think this, but I struggle to forgive dash for ... 204. 205 now. I am waiting for ... 206. I can no longer wait for ... That's the last thing. 206. About 206 question, not in any chronological order. You can, all these things will help you, because story structure question, in imagine the word of the story, we write stream of consciousness. Remember, you are just pouring everything on paper. Just think about that. If you use that one, you can have more questions. You can put in onto the paper whatever images or whatever idea that comes to you. Who are these people? Where are they? What is happening to them? And so on. In building a story, we move from the like I told you, we move from the general to the specific. When you go to the general, you now go specific. Once we have begun to develop a relationship with the word, it is time to begin asking very simple structure questions. It is important to understand that we are not structuring the story, but merely becoming more familiar with key stages of our hero's journey. It is through exploring our protagonist's experiences that the plot emerges. Write for 5 minutes streams of consciousness bracket of the following questions. Okay, write for 5 minutes. Act 1. This one will help you, because as I said, this day 2 will be what I will refer to for a longer time. Okay, day 2 of this, I will refer to it. Act 1. Under Act 1, get a board before you. Act 1. Right. Number 1, beginning. Column in front. What is the word in which my story exists? What is the word in which my story exists? Number 2, dramatic question. Column. What is the dilemma at the heart of my story? Number 3, inciting incident. What event happened that set my story into motion. Number 4, opposing argument. What is the antagonist's response? What is the antagonist's, my hero's apparent problem? Number 5, end of Act 1. What decision does my protagonist make when he can't go back on? What are their where is their reluctance in this decision? Where is their reluctance in this decision? Okay, are you getting it now? Now you go to Act 2, false hope. Act 2, number 1, false hope. Column. Okay, when I say that, false hope, where does my protagonist experience false love, a false hope as a result of making his decision? Where does he experience it? Midpoint, number 2. What event in the middle of the story that leads to my heroes into temptation between what he wants and what he needs? He could go back to the beginning or step into the unknown and risk losing everything. Okay. Number 3, suffering. What does it look like when my protagonist realizes that his goal is more difficult than imagined and that this is his last chance to achieve it? Number 4, surrender. What does it look like when my protagonist realizes that his goal is impossible to achieve based on his perception of the problem? Are we getting something? Now, Act 3. Number 1, reality. What does it look like when my heroes accept the reality of his situation? The reality of his situation. How is his reality of the situation different than the appearance of the situation? Number 2, action. What action does my protagonist take towards getting what he needs? Number 3, battle scene. What happens when my protagonist must choose between what he wants and what he needs? What choice does my protagonist make? Number 4, new equilibrium. New equilibrium. What is the final image in my story? What does it look like when my hero is returned home? How is he relating differently to other characters? What has he come to understand that he didn't know at the beginning? What is the visual metaphor that bookends, bookends the opening image? Okay. Now, having said this, you see the 3-act structure, and you can look at the worksheet yourself and say, okay, create a worksheet yourself. Act 1, page 1. Act 1, on your page 1, you have the open of false belief. Okay. Page 3 to 5, you have the dilemma. Page 10, inciting incident. Page 15 to 20, opposing argument. Page 25 to 20, hero makes a decision. Okay. Now, if you go to Act 2, page 30, beginning of Act 2, page 40 to 45, our heroes experience false hope. Page 55 to 60, midpoint. Okay. Our heroes experience temptation. Page 65 to 75, our hero suffers. Page 80 to 90, our hero surrenders. Now, Act 3, page 90, our hero accepts the reality of his situation. Page 90 to 105, our hero takes action. Page 105 to 110, the battle scene page, which is 110 to 120, our hero returns home. Now, with this, you'll be able to see that this is a very good thing you are doing. Okay. Now, I'm going to take you through a very reliable thing that will be of help to you along the way. Okay. Along the way, I'm going to show you a reliable thing that you can also see yourself and also grab something tonight, so that as we are talking, like I said, I'm going to refer to this more and more in whatever we are doing, and it's going to help us a lot. Okay. Now, let's go there now. I want to show you something very, very importantly. Okay. Now, you will see formatting your screenplay. Now, under the formatting of screenplay, you're going to see something. Now, look at this. Formatting your screenplay. I just want you to read this yourself. Okay. I will just paraphrase this. Formatting your screenplay. Just take your time as you are reading together. Unlike novel, screenplays are not the final product, but the blueprint for what the final product should look like. Screenplay has its own peculiar language, which is easier to grab than it might first appear. All right, are you reading? I want you to read. So after a while, now I'm going to leave it. I'm going to take it away. Now, right now, let's say all of us are in the office during the day. Now, let's look at dialogue. Although your screenwriting software will take care of this, each character's name is centered and the dialogue is indented. I hope you have read this. I hope you are through with this. So when it says interior means, INT means interior and EXT means exterior, okay? The log line, you look at the slug line. Slug line is different from log line. Okay, if you look at this, they are always capitalized and followed by a brief description of where the scene takes place and whether it's the day or night, okay? And it's called slug line. Here's an example: interior, house, office, dash, day, okay? Now let's go. Now look at this. Rick is looking at your kid. Each time a character is introduced, let's say this is Rick, their name is capitalized. Rick walks into the bar and orders a drink. He smiles at Elisa. If dialogue is continued in the next page, or if there are stage direction between the same character's line, just write continue, meaning continued, next to the character's name. Let's go. Now look at Elisa. Rick, do you remember me? Rick gulps in shock. Now, because of Lisa now, we just say Lisa continue. Can you see that place? I haven't seen you since Paris. Now, actions and descriptions. All these things are necessary as I'm giving this at this point and at this very, very important time. And I'm going to give that so that you can read it. You can also read it by yourself here. Our job is to provide enough detail for the filmmakers to understand the word, yet not so much that we impose ourselves into their roles. It is not advisable to include camera shot because it's not the purview of the director and cinematographer. Okay, it is not purview. Okay, these are very important. I've said this in my video before, and I'm still saying it. And now Al is reading it. I've never come across Al until recently, like I mentioned, and I've taught some of these things a long time ago. Do you see that? Okay. Now let me make it bigger. Okay. Let me make it bigger so that we can also see it more. Okay. Okay. Did we get it now? Okay, you have to be smaller. Make it smaller so that we can. Okay. Are we getting it now? This is very important, and this is sample script. This will help you a lot. Screenplay format sample. Here's a sample from the opening scene. Okay. Look at it. Due to the ebook limitation, please know that there are maybe varieties up front, spacing and margin. Okay. Make sure you look at it critically. You see this? It's when you understand it, you can break the rule. But when you don't understand it, use day or night. Use day or night. This will help you. Look at the book, the VO. When we finish this thing, I hope that some of us that will be doing specialized courses with us will show you some things. Look at this. Like, use dusk. When you have understood, you can use the word. VO means voice over. Okay. Okay. OS means off the screen. You see this? Do you see this? So I just want you to see it. So because of this, something will put it at the center for you, not necessarily not the side, okay? You can also use a block form, but this one put at the center for you. You can see it. You put your role credit, all right? So all these things are very, very important for you to see. And to also, you can pause to read it. If you want to read it, you can pause to read it, okay? So this is a book, and also I recommend you to go buy this book and also buy this one. Please buy this, also available now. The first novel available now. Please go read it, go get it on Amazon. Please go and get this book on Amazon. Okay, this will be the end. This will be a very good end point for me tonight of day 2. I intentionally did this so that I know that I am done with all the things that I need to show you at the back, so that in case I do not show it again, I know that I'm good, and you can also be very, very grateful, because I've done what is expected of me for day 2, and tomorrow is another day. Thank you so much. I remain Paul-Esupofo. Don't forget, don't just be creative, stay creative and be a person of creativity. Do have a wonderful day. Bye.